For the next 5 seconds, don't think about a white bear. Don't picture its face. Don't picture its white fur. Whatever you do, keep that bear out of your mind. What happened? You pictured it, didn't you? That's the irony of control. The instruction meant to remove the thought forced your brain to search for it. Now think about your own life. What have you been trying not to think about? Maybe it's a conversation you keep replaying. Maybe you need to make a decision, send a message, start a project, or walk into a situation you can't completely predict. How much time have you spent preparing for something that hasn't happened? And how much of that preparation has produced useful information? You're here because you think ahead. You notice details, you take decisions seriously, and you want to make the right move. Those are strengths. They become a problem when your mind keeps working after it already has enough information. That's when careful thinking can turn into overthinking. Preparation becomes rumination. Planning becomes analysis paralysis. You keep running the situation through your mind because one more thought might finally give you certainty. But what if the attempt to gain control is feeding the loop? Stay with me because I'm going to show you what psychology says about thought suppression and overthinking. Then I'll take a real experience from my own life and put it through the SAM method. By the end, you'll have 3 questions you can use when your mind starts rehearsing every possible outcome. I'm Kevin, and this is Meology. Let's examine the irony of control. In 1987, psychologist Daniel Wegner and his colleagues conducted what became known as the white bear experiment. Participants were asked to describe their thoughts for 5 minutes while trying not to think about a white bear. Every time the bear entered their minds, they rang a bell. They kept ringing it. Later, when those participants were allowed to think about the bear, they thought about it more than people who hadn't tried to suppress it. This became known as the rebound effect. Why does it happen? To make sure you aren't thinking about something, part of your brain has to monitor your thoughts for it. Is the thought gone? Did it come back? Am I thinking about it now? Your mind becomes a security guard searching for the exact thing it was told not to find. Wegner called this ironic process theory. One part of the mind tries to focus somewhere else. Another part keeps checking for the unwanted thought. When you're tired, stressed, distracted, or mentally overloaded, the part doing the redirecting can lose strength. The monitoring continues. A 2020 analysis of 31 studies found consistent evidence for a rebound after thought suppression. It also found that the unwanted thought is more likely to increase immediately when the mind is carrying an additional mental load. Think about when your overthinking is strongest. Is it late at night? After a long day? Before an appointment? While waiting for somebody to answer? When several things need your attention at once? The thought may feel important because it keeps returning. Sometimes it keeps returning because your mind keeps checking whether it's gone. Thinking isn't the enemy. Repetitive thought can be useful when it leads somewhere. Problem solving has a direction. You identify the issue, consider the available options, and choose an action. Overthinking keeps generating possibilities without producing movement. One possibility creates another question. That question creates another imagined outcome. Every attempt to guarantee the result gives uncertainty more material to work with. Ask yourself, has my thinking produced new information? Has it helped me make a decision? Has it identified something I can do? Or has it only produced more thinking? Research on intolerance of uncertainty found that people who struggle with uncertainty may require more evidence before responding to an ambiguous situation. Wanting evidence is reasonable. The problem comes when no amount of evidence feels like enough. You keep reviewing the possibilities because you want to prevent a mistake, an awkward moment, rejection, embarrassment, or loss of control. But can you think your way into a guarantee? I experienced this before going to the Apple Store for help with one of my devices. Before I went, I rehearsed the entire visit in my head 1,000 times. What if the store is crazy? Where am I supposed to go? Who do I speak to? Will I make sense when I describe the problem? What if I forget an important detail? What if I stand in the wrong place, talk to the wrong person, or become overwhelmed? Have you ever lived through an event repeatedly before it happened once? I believed I was preparing myself. In reality, I was mentally creating every difficulty I might encounter. I overthought the visit so much that I almost didn't go. That's the part I want you to consider. Has your attempt to prepare ever made you less likely to act? At some point, I stopped the train wreck in my head and went. When the visit was over, I realized I had been ruminating for no reason. The real experience gave me information that all my mental rehearsing couldn't provide. I didn't need to predict the entire visit. I needed to enter the store and respond to what actually happened. How often do we exhaust ourselves responding to events that exist only in our minds? The goal isn't to force every unwanted or intrusive thought out of your head. That can restart the same monitoring process. A better move is to notice the thought without treating it as an instruction or a prediction. Instead of saying, "I have to stop thinking about this," try saying, "I notice that I'm rehearsing an outcome." That small change gives you room to inspect the thought. Then ask, what do I actually know? What am I assuming? What action is available right now? You're moving from mental control to practical control. Practical control doesn't promise that everything will go your way. It helps you respond to the part of the situation that belongs to you. You may not control how someone answers your message. You control whether you send it. You may not control every question in a meeting. You control whether you prepare the information you have. You may not control whether your first attempt succeeds. You control whether the first attempt exists. Reality may not give you the outcome you want, but it will give you real information. Now let's put the Apple Store experience through the SAM method. SAM stands for sensory, assumption, and mental simulation. Start with S, sensory. What did I actually see, hear, or experience? In my case, the sensory information was simple. My device had a problem, and I needed help from the Apple Store. That was all I knew. When you apply this to your situation, stay with facts that could be observed or verified. The appointment is at 2. The person hasn't answered. My device isn't working properly. I made a mistake. I haven't started the project. Don't explain the facts yet, just identify them. Next is A, assumption. What meaning did I add without knowing whether it was true? My assumptions were that the store would be crazy, I wouldn't know where to go, and I might have trouble explaining the problem. Those things were possible, but they hadn't happened. What assumptions have you added to your situation? They're ignoring me. I'm going to look foolish. Everyone will notice my mistake. I'm not ready. This first attempt has to be perfect. An assumption may eventually prove correct. Until you have evidence, it remains an assumption. Then we reach M, mental simulation. What scene did my mind create from that assumption? My mind built the store. It added the crowd, created confusion, and wrote conversations with employees I hadn't met. My body was reacting to a visit that was taking place entirely inside my head. What movie has your mind created? Are you imagining an argument, a rejection, a failed presentation, a conversation where you can't find the right words? Ask whether that simulation is helping you prepare for one reasonable action or trapping you inside possibilities. That distinction matters. A useful simulation leads to a plan. An unhelpful simulation leads to another simulation. Once you identify the pattern, choose the next real action. Send the message, write the first paragraph, ask the question, make the appointment, walk through the door. Before you leave this video, think again about the situation you identified at the beginning. What are the sensory facts? What assumption did you add? What future are you mentally simulating? What is one real action you can take? You don't need perfect certainty to make a thoughtful decision. You need enough information to take the next responsible step. If you want more SAM method explanations and real-life examples, check out the other meology videos on this channel. Each video applies SAM to a different kind of situation. So find the example that sounds most like your life and continue from there. Like, share, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell so you know when another meology video drops. When thinking stops producing information, it may be time to produce action.